The year is 1973. It's been 4 years since man first walked on the moon. Richard Nixon is president for now. It was also one of the most active years for UFO sightings since the 1940s. And in Mississippi, the small industrial town of Pascagoula on the Gulf of Mexico was about to be thrust into the national spotlight by two men who encountered something extraordinary.
I heard them talking about a spaceship and everything, and I really thought they were just joking about it. Because back then, at night, officers get bored, so we would come up with crazy stuff on them.
Scared the heck out of the ladies who were cleaning up the Mississippi Press that night. They were loud, they were excitable, they were banging on the door, and the door obviously was not going to open, and they really wanted to get in so they could call the sheriff's department.
Dispatcher said, Captain said, somebody wants to talk to you on the phone. I said, hello. He said, Captain Ryder, I want to tell you something. I said, well, go ahead and tell me, man. I'm busy. No, he said, you'll laugh. I said, look, if you want to tell me something, tell me. I'm not going to laugh. He said, I got picked up by a UFO. And I laughed.
The man on the phone was Charlie Hickson, a shipyard foreman who was fishing that night with Calvin Parker, an 18-year-old fresh to the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Well, I told him, I said, look, stay right there. I'm going to come over there and talk with you about this thing.
Calvin was visibly shook up. I mean, he was visibly, it wasn't like it was a joke and he was smirking or something like that. He was upset.
Deputies were skeptical of Charlie and Calvin. Think about it, abducted by a UFO. So they put them in a room together with a voice-activated recorder hidden in a drawer.
I figured when I left the room and shut the door, they'd say, oh boy, we got them people fooled. But they didn't. That boy was climbing the wall. He was scared to death. He kept telling Charles, don't talk to them and people come back and get us. But the news broke and people was calling from everywhere.
Pascagoula had suddenly exploded into the national spotlight, literally overnight. The men went back to work the next day, but so many calls came in, they had to leave. Demands for interviews started. People on the coast became alien crazed, looking skyward for weeks.
Charles talked very readily about it. Calvin kind of dropped off a little bit, and I don't really know what happened to him, but he was not a big spokesman.
Calvin got freaked out, plain and simple.
The attention, sudden and intense, didn't suit Calvin. He just wanted to go home to the country. He dropped out, for the most part, for 45 years, until now.
About a football length field from the water edge of the river.
100 yards?
Yeah, 100 yards. So it's probably close to in here. I was looking across at the old Coast Guard station, an old Noah ship that used to sit in there. That's when it landed behind us. And we turned around, stood up, turned around and looked, and must have been the door that opened where all the bright lights come out of.
You saw the reflection first on the water?
I saw the blue. When they turned me loose, I got in my car and left. I went back home, and I didn't come back, wasn't going to.
It sounded like you might have been a little annoyed with Charlie, that maybe Charlie had leaked it, and because Charlie made a life out of this.
It really teed me off at him. I mean, I was upset at Charlie because I didn't want Charlie to go public with it. I darn sure didn't want to be public with it. And Charlie told me he wasn't going public, and he took it and ran with it. And Seemed like every time a camera flashed, he was in front of it. Every time there was a conference, he was at the conference.
But I wanted to ask you too, you know, what was so poignant to me, your reaction afterwards, to gather up all your clothes and throw it all away and to wash yourself with bleach.
I just knew, to me, now they didn't look right. They looked like something was wrong.
The aliens?
Right. And I just knew that maybe they had brought some kind of disease, a bacteria down, or some kind of radiation.
But you had nothing, nobody to talk to about it?
No,
Or to deal
Charlie's the
help
only
you?
one. He acted like he could care less. So I was thinking to myself, I don't want to kill a lot of people off. So when we got home at night, I took all my clothes off, put them in a bag, even my shoes, and put them in a bag, and I threw them away after I took my bath.
What did happen afterwards? Because, you know, fame, this sort of instant fame, how it changed your life.
If I had wanted my life to be an open book, I would have opened it up before then. I wanted to get a job, retire at the same job, pay on a house all my life, pay on a car all my life, and do normal things. But nothing was normal about the way my life ended up.
That boy was upset. And you don't get upset by nothing. And he wasn't playing either. And if he was acting, he should have been in Hollywood because he was putting on a good show.